Alignment is for the woman with self-mastery. It's for the women who have overcome survival mode and who have overcome a hustler's mindset. You cannot build in alignment in survival mode. Our schools, mentors, gurus, the successful people of the world have all conditioned us into a paradigm against alignment. It has become the standard. When it comes to alignment, when it comes to building and success, you don't need to build in alignment to get certain results. That's why all of our resources, the advice, the people we look up to, they aren't spouting that kind of advice or direction. Because in capitalism, what's needed is not structural integrity or alignment. They have a whole other set of things that are required to grow in that system. So when you, as a spiritual woman founder, get to the point where you refuse to keep building out of integrity with the vision that God has given you, when you, as a spiritual woman founder, refuses to build without the structural integrity, without a strong foundation for your company and your brand, and you're fully committed to realigning your company or building a complete alignment from launch, choosing alignment really means that you're choosing sovereignty, you're choosing freedom, and you're choosing autonomy, and you're choosing legacy. In capitalism, legacy looks a very specific kind of way. It looks different than when it is when you choose to build from the inside out. When you're in survival mode, your priority and your sole focus will be nothing else but your needs. It doesn't matter how many millions of dollars you've already made in your career. Your focus, your sole focus, will only be your needs. So that includes shelter, it includes connection, it includes community. On the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, those are very much as needs as food, water, clothing, shelter, all those things are. And so when you are building in survival mode, when you have a hustler's mentality, those needs are always accessed through money, unless you just have the mind to think beyond money. But for most people, it's money. You're looking for money because money is what will provide for you that stability, that safety, especially that sense of safety. Money is the vehicle towards that, and you will think of nothing else but that. Survival mode will have you taking money from investors who don't have your best interests at heart. They'll have you hiring a team that looks good on paper, but they're not good for where you're going. It'll have you doubting your intuition and contradicting it through your decision making. It will have you giving up your power because you think someone else is more capable of leading this company than you are. And it will have you killing yourself, doing PR appearances and interviews that really have nothing to do with the long-term goal, but it makes you look good to investors. So when you were raised in struggle, going from a kid in struggle, a teen in struggle, a woman in grad in struggle, and eventually building your business or your company, unless you're conscious through it, you're going to carry out those same habits to the other side. It's the grind, the hustle, make the money, get the bag, everything. You're really not going to be focusing on anything else besides that. Even when your conscious mind is showing you your desire for impact, when they're showing you your desire for or your vision for change and whatever it is that you have, because you don't have internally, you don't feel like your needs are met, or you don't feel safe enough with which has already been met within you, you will not be able to exist beyond it. If you remember on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, at the top of the pyramid is actualization and transcendence. You can't reach that until you have the bottom tiers met. If you don't have food, you're not going to be thinking about community. I mean, if you're starving to death, what are you thinking about? You're thinking about, I need food. When you do have food, you can maybe start thinking about other things like community and connection. But if you don't have those needs met, you won't be ever be able to move up to transcendence and actualization, which is what alignment is. To build an alignment means to exist in a fully actualized version of yourself, or commit to that version of yourself, to work towards that kind of transcendence. But if those needs aren't met, you're never going to get there. And so the thing is, for a lot of us, we have our needs met right now. We have the food, we have the money, we make way more money than we've ever seen in our family history. In fact, we may be the first in our family to do what we're doing. Yet, on an internal level, we haven't felt safe enough to kind of check off that internal box. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to alignment, until you get out of that mindset, until you get out of that state of embodiment of struggle, alignment may be on your mind, but you won't be able to fully lead your company, yourself, and everyone around you into the level that your company requires of you to build an integrity with your vision. So when I speak of alignment, I'm saying stability, stillness, steadiness, strong foundations, materialization of your desires, and actualization and transcendence, as I mentioned. To build an alignment, to take those power moves, to make those risks that will realign your company or to launch your company into congruence with the vision that you have been dreaming about for so long or envisioning for so long, requires you to be stable, not necessarily externally, but cultivating an inner stability so that when things threaten any of your needs, you won't shake. It's almost like people having certain values. When you have a value, nothing can shake it. If it's true to you, nothing can shake it. When you are true in your values, nothing can shake it. It doesn't matter if you have a gun pointed to your head. If those are your values, you're not going to do it. Maybe that's kind of extreme, but you know what I mean. Doesn't matter the circumstances, you're going to hold that value. It's the same thing with alignment. The path to alignment begins with healing your struggle wound. Some of us have found a lot of our identities within the struggle because our story begins with the struggle, and we inspired others in the struggle to rise up with us. A lot of us have attached our egos to the struggle because it makes us feel validated in our process and our success because we worked for it, because we roughed it out. You know what I mean? You know how it goes in the industry where it's like the self-made millionaire. Remember when Kylie Jenner, she got exposed for lying about it? We all know she's not self-made. She's not self-made in the sense she didn't start from the mud. There's a level of validity and status that you get when you make it out the mud. And what I'm saying is by no means to disregard the work that you put in to get there. But what I am saying is that sometimes our attachment to that struggle contradicts what our brand is requiring of us to grow and scale and launch an alignment. Alignment requires you to take risks, to make decisions against common opinion, to make powerful moves that could leave you vulnerable, to slow down, to expand your palette for other success metrics, to look unstupid or unwise, to rest for pleasure, and for you to become self-resourced. And like I was saying earlier, if your needs aren't met or you don't feel safe within yourself, all those things will become a threat to you. When you are faced with a $5 million investment and those investors are pushing you and telling you like this is the best thing, but you know that it's not good for you, if you haven't cultivated the needs or the safety within yourself to choose against something where you're being pressured for, and something that will bring you stability and also something that's expected, like you can anticipate this, would you choose against it? Probably not. If no one else in your circle is advising you otherwise, you're going to take it. But the thing is, when it comes to alignment, you have to be ruthless. You can't take anything else but what is in alignment with this vision. You have to be ruthless. But if you don't feel that safety, and if you haven't cultivated that conviction, you will always choose against alignment, because alignment is the inconvenience. It is not the most convenient option because there are systems already that have paved the way, that have done things, or have at least, told us a story, because I believe that the way to grow in capitalism is a gamble, right? So when it comes to building an alignment, you have to build that safety. You have to let go of that hustle mindset. You have to let go of survival mode. They brought you here, but it won't bring you to alignment. It will not bring you to a place of true generational matriarchal resonance. And for my spiritual women founders, my spiritual black women founders who have committed to alignment, meaning that you're healing your nervous systems, you're reconditioning your survival minds, and you're fully convicted of the vision that God has given you, and you will do anything to bring it into full materialization, I need you to click the link down below in the description and subscribe to my newsletter, Letters from My Living Room. I created Letters from My Living Room to be a cozier, softer touch in between my videos. Even though I use those words, I don't mean that it's like soft and dainty. I created it specifically for activation. I created it specifically for motivation, specifically to arise and realign you with this vision. So that's stewarding you through those power moves, those risks that you're taking, everything about foundership and building an alignment as a spiritual black woman founder. So if you align with this message, I need you to join the newsletter to receive these letters about 1 to 2, sometimes more, sometimes less times a week. The link is down below, and it's called Letters from My Living Room. Anyways, I thank you for stopping by, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.